I shall make a start and hopefully more people will join us. Don't worry, this interview will be recorded, so you will be able to view it at a later stage. Okay, so good evening and thank you for joining us tonight in Linguists Cafe UK. My name is Hiba Bayyat and I will be your host for this evening. So tonight we will be interviewing the head of the driving force behind the Association of Interpreters and Translators, AIT. To find out more about the association, their membership types, benefits, as well as their current and future plans for us. So just to make you aware before we start, we have had a test run and we are aware there is a delay in the broadcasting. So this may affect picking up the comments later on in real time. So please bear with us. We will try to respond to everyone. However, if we don't, please rest assured we are not ignoring you. We will respond as soon as possible. So with us tonight, we have an experienced freelance interpreter and translator, specialized in the Russian language, registered with the National Register of Public Service Interpreters since 2005, and a conference interpreter with an MA in conference interpreting and over 200 hours worth of professional conference interpreting experience. The former Association of Police and Court Interpreters APCI Vice Chairman, and the AIT's founder and chairman. Please join me in welcoming the beautiful and lovely Irina Norton.
Hello, Hiba.
Hello, Irina. Welcome, Irina, and thank you for accepting our invitation.
It's an absolute pleasure, and I would like to reciprocate, Hiba, by saying thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to give the interview to your amazing group. And I have to say, I've come across your group by chance whilst browsing on social media, finding groups where interpreters and translators congregate, so we can reach out to them and tell them about the project. And I've come across your group, and I was absolutely mesmerized ever since, because I love the ethos, I love the atmosphere, I love the lightness that you bring to your group. And what an achievement, Hiba. I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate you, because you've reached 600 people in the group. That's amazing.
I know, it's such a big milestone.
So well done. But Hiba, it's my absolute pleasure to be here with you, and if I can shed some light on what we're doing, then I'll be absolutely delighted.
Thank you very much, Irina. It's an absolute pleasure to have you with us tonight. So before we proceed with our interview, I would like to ask you a few personal questions, if you don't mind, of course.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Fire out.
So Irina, which do you prefer, tea or coffee?
Tea.
Okay, are you a cat or a dog person?
I would say dog, because I'm allergic to cats, unfortunately.
Do you have any?
They're very pretty creatures, but unfortunately I can't have one, so I'd go for dog.
Okay, how about summer or winter?
If you asked me this question many years ago, I would have said winter, because I'm Russian and I absolutely love Russian winter. But I've been in the UK for over 20 years, so I'll probably change my mind now. I think I love summer.
Sorry, I do apologize. Obviously with the lockdown, I'm a mother of 3 children, so they just all walked in at the moment. So I will carry on with the questions. We're moving on to our second. Okay, so what we wanted to know is, firstly, and bearing in mind the trends of feminism and gender neutral expressions, as well as political correctness, why has Irina chosen chairman as opposed to chairwoman or a chairperson? So if you can just shed a light on that, please, for us, Irina.
What a very interesting question. I suppose why, why is a policeman, fireman, we live in the era, as you correctly said, an era of political correctness and neutrality when it comes to gender and linguistics. But I think probably the answer would be quite, I don't know if Hiba is still with me. I'll just wait for Hiba to come back before I answer. So Hiba is a very busy mum with 3 children in the evening. Thank you everybody who's watching us. I can see we've got nearly about 11 people, but although, as Hiba said, there is a delay in broadcasting, so perhaps we've got less people by now, or maybe a little bit more. Who knows? We will know in the end. But thank you for watching us. Stay with us. Hiba will be back in a minute.
Apologies.
No problem, Hiba.
I'm back. Right, I apologize. Right, so back
Take
to...
a deep breath. Are you okay?
I'm absolutely fine. Okay.
I was just answering your question about why am I chairman,
Yes.
not chairperson or chair.
Yeah.
Well, you're absolutely right. In the era of political correctness and neutrality that we're trying to achieve, and equality, perhaps there would be a right to call myself a chairwoman, but what possibly be rather a boring answer is, you know, as we are a company, we are registered with the Companies House, and as we were going through the documentations and all the submissions that we had to do, we needed to produce a number of documents, and traditionally it was a chairman, and so we used the chairman, and then obviously for consistency we had to use the same title because it's now obviously used in all the documentation. So sorry for perhaps a boring, and who knows, maybe in the future you will have a chairman as the head of the AIT, not a chairwoman. So and that will be perfect.
Absolutely.
You won't have that question.
Okay, so we will move on to our following question, which is if you can tell us a little bit more about AIT. How did it start?
Thank you. Well, I know that you were extremely well organized when we initially thought about this opportunity to have this interview live, which is very risky, always is. You were already putting stuff on the group. So I know you already published the presentation and you've given a lot of information. So I don't really want to try to repeat what people already perhaps have heard and listened to. But just to give you a shorter understanding what's behind the AIT and the idea of the association, we started the project last summer, and it was initially just a meeting with colleagues in cafes and restaurants over lunch, brainstorming, discussing the idea, shall we not, how's it going to work? And as a result of it, we started having the regular meetings. The initial group consisted of interpreters of several languages. The initial start group was, we had Spanish, Hebrew, Urdu, Punjabi, Romanian and Russian, myself, interpreters in the group. But shortly we were also joined by interpreters in Arabic and Luganda. And the lady who joined us in Luganda language, Jane Zalwanga, who is a director of AIT now, she was particularly very passionate about the fact that she felt that rare languages that she represents, the group of rare languages, is very much underrepresented among the professional associations in the market. So that was kind of her view. So we felt that, we wanted to create the association that would reach out for the goal that I think we're all striving for, is protection of title. We want our profession to be regulated. Hiba disappeared. We'll just wait again for Hiba to come back.
I'm here. It's okay. Yeah, I'm here. Yes, I'm here. Don't worry, I'm here.
The main goal was to reach for protection of title, to achieve the regulation for everybody. That means accountability, professionalism. So this is how we kind of started, and then we went through stages of registering the company, creating the templates, creating the business plan, short-term, long-term business plan, and that's how the project started rolling out. And then in March, when we were ready to go out there and meet everybody and shout out in every corner, here we are, AIT, we'd like to work with everybody, and COVID started. So instead of just thinking, oh my God, we only just started the project and this is it, is that it? So instead of just saying that's it, I think, you know, we're just going to have to wait for another 2 or 3 years before the COVID goes away. We thought, no, we're not going to give up on our aim. We're not going to give up on our dream. And so we just moved into online virtual business. And so for us, virtual is business as usual, business as normal. This is pretty much how we've started, and we're really good at it. So maybe in brief, I managed to somehow cover a little bit on that.
Fantastic. No, that's brilliant. Now moving on to our next question, which some people want to know: who can join AIT and what are the membership types available?
Well, again, trying to tie up everything with the goal that we want to achieve. It's very important to us that every single member that join AIT is a regulated professional, which is why the only candidates or applicants we prepared to accept are the ones that are already regulated. That means they are on National Register of Public Service Interpreters. And for British Sign Language interpreters, there would be their two existing regulatory bodies, which is ANA-CPD and ABSLI. So we accept people who are already accountable and regulated. And with regards to what membership we've got several categories that we accept: conference interpreters, public service interpreters, which will include all 3 options, which is law, health and local government. And I have to again stress the importance of all of those practitioners being on an PSI. Then we also have retired options, associate options, and students options available as well. Obviously British Sign Language interpreters and translators. Must not forget translators, because we pretty much, if you speak to anybody, they will do either 50-50 or 60-40 or 80-20, but all of us pretty much cover interpreting and translation. It's very rare to find somebody who solely concentrate on translation only and never venture into interpreting, or vice versa.
Thank you, fantastic. And what are the benefits of joining AIT? What benefits do the members receive?
Well, as a new startup, obviously we're still working a lot of things, but we've already started the project, which is Interpreter Support Group. This is where we would like to provide our members with the service of supervision and also perhaps mental health support. So we've got in that group, we've got professional counsellors and first aiders when it comes to mental health. We also have got psychotherapists as well in their group. So this is just a new project. We're still testing it. We're still working on it. But that's one of the benefits that I believe we will be able to deliver. Then also what I personally believe, and I feel that AIT is very strong on, is we focus on every practitioner. We've got amazing communication. I think it kind of started almost like the heart of the association, that board of practitioners who started the project, because we've got such a great bond among ourselves. You know, people, as they join AIT, they're almost like they're joining the family, because, you know, we kind of extend the family. And every member can contact me anytime. They can call me, they can email me. I tend to reply really, really quickly. And we have this dialogue, this constant dialogue, communication going with our members all the time. Even if it's just a family occasion or any issues, we communicate constantly. And I quite like that. It's almost like a family-run business. You know, we work as a family, we work as a team, we help each other out. The other very strong point of AIT is we are very strong on joint training. This is what we focus on. We believe in order to achieve protection of title, there are quite important elements that need to be enforced. You know, the regulation, the accredited qualifications, the professional association membership. I think all practitioners should belong to professional association. And luckily, we've got quite a number of really respectable associations offering their services to practitioners. We've got CRL, we've got ITI, APCI, SOMI, and not to forget, we also have to perhaps encourage practitioners to also look into direction of trade unions, where they get a lot of support as well. So all of that, I think we would love to merge and work together, you know, in this practitioners kind of ecosystem, everything that helps us to become recognized as a profession. So working with job providers is one of the important elements of it. Raising awareness about what we do and how we do that. It helps them to understand how to work with us, and it helps us to understand how they work. So exchange of best practices, I think this is where we focus as well. So I would say practitioners focused approach, joint training, raising awareness. This is where we're trying to focus on.
Sorry, I just forgot to unmute myself. Right, another question some members might have is, how much is the membership, Irina?
At the moment, it's £120 per year. However, as I already mentioned, as a new startup in March this year, we realized that we also need to, well, we need to survive as a company, but at the same time, the whole idea behind the company is to support the practitioners in every way we can. And there is COVID, you know, this unexpected disaster that we're all facing at the moment. It's a massive challenge for every individual and profession as a whole. So the board of directors sat down at one of our weekly regular meeting, and they said, well, you know, we need to perhaps to consider to extend the membership. So what the board decided to do is that next year at the AGM, all the members will then decide how long we will extend the membership for. So it's difficult to predict. So when the first lockdown hit us, you know, we perhaps felt, or, you know, perhaps that extension will be only a couple of months or 3 months at, you know, on, you know, during the following year. However, at the moment, it's looking at might be half a year, even longer. So potentially those who joining association this year might be looking at actually paying 2-year membership, basically. Although it's hard to predict, so I don't really want to say that will be exactly 2 years. It might be, but it's definitely going to be extension of several months now, because we can see we've been in a lockdown now, second time around. So all of that will be considered, you know, we're taking in consideration.
Perfect, thank you for answering this. Another question that we might have popping up from people who are qualified interpreters, however, they're not registered on the National Register, which is obviously a requirement for AIT. So what would you say to those people?
Well, I would say to those people, do the right thing. Become a professional by following everything that entitles the profession to be protected by title. So if you look at any professions and the definition of the profession, all those professions that are protected by title, they are regulated. That means every practitioner has to have accredited qualification. Every practitioner has to be regulated, therefore, in the register of those practitioners. Then every professional normally would also be part of professional association, and in most cases also members of trade union. So that's what the profession really entails. So those interpreters who already got accredited qualifications, they're missing a step, or maybe 2 or 3 steps, but they need to move in the right direction. They need to be accountable for what they're doing, the services they're providing, because that ensures the public safety and the quality, and also accountability. So I would encourage those practitioners. They've already done amazing achievement. They've got accredited qualification. They've probably worked really hard for it, and they're already amazing talents. So become regulated and then join the professional association. That's what I would say.
Fantastic, Irina. Now, I know you are limited to the amount of information that you can give us. However, we would very much appreciate if you can shed the light on any future projects or plans you have for us interpreters and translators, if you don't mind.
I'll be delighted to share. I mean, we already started planning our next year. So all our events are listed on Eventbrite. Please do find us on Eventbrite. I'm sure Hiba will share with you the links that you can find information about us. You know, we listed on Eventbrite, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, Facebook. I'm sure you can find us very, very easily. With regards to the also joint training, which we planning, obviously all depends on COVID and restrictions, but hopefully we're going to continue with a schedule of at least 5-6 joint training with police that we've been running for the past 3 or 4 years now, and hopefully we can then extend that as well to other professions that we work with. So joint training, we're going to continue expanding into other areas, not just police, but also courts and many others. So joint training, more events, more to come. So I think there's a great value for money when you join the association. At the moment, all our events are free for members. So those who joined in April or March or February last year, they've already got their money back by just having so many. Very interesting what I hear from people who attend those events. Meetings that we meet on Zoom quite regularly. We also organize social meetings, so we try to encourage people to communicate and build relationship. It's very important for work as well, because networking is basically what gives you work. You know, at the moment we get a lot of jobs for AIT members through referrals, you know, people who worked with us or our associate members. So referral is great. And I've literally just exchanged the communication this morning with one of the member of association who's got now a regular client through AIT. And she was unable to attend our meeting yesterday because she was busy on that assignment, and she seemed to be really, really delighted with that. And I wish best of luck to her and the colleague who also got the job through us. So we support interpreters in every way, with job referrals, you know, the direct clients, retainers, so that you can work with the same client over and over again. So because it's all about trust, profession, if you get to the very core of a definition of it, trust is the key. So building that trust, that's what we're trying to achieve. So building the trust, raising awareness, making a lot of interesting and exciting events, social events, networking events. We're going to be all out.
Fantastic. I think you've already answered my next question, which is basically something that again might pop up, and you'll have people saying we already have existing associations and many professional bodies. So what is different? How is AIT different? I think you've covered most of it, but if there's anything that you feel that that's left out that you would like to add, so please go ahead.
Well, personally, the way I see the market, yes, we've got a number of amazing associations out there, and I think interpreters should they should look around and choose the association of their specialism, or the association that perhaps relate to them the most. And I think it's an absolute must to be part of a professional association, absolute must. You need to keep in touch with the industry, with the research, what's going on there. So without being part of a professional association, it will be very, very difficult. And plus you've got this extra support. What different about us? Well, like I already said, we've got very, very individual practitioners focused approach. You know, it's like a family. We are a company, but at the same time we feel that every individual matters, and that's our motto. We are passionate professionals, but we want to support everybody, especially in the times of needs as it is right now. It's very, very important that we are in this together. We need to support each other. Personally, I don't see AIT as an opposition to anything that already exists. I hope, and obviously we're only a small group of volunteers, and we work really, really hard, but I know that there's still other associations and boards and organizations that we need to reach out, tell them about ourselves, have meetings with them, have coffee, discuss what we can perhaps do together. So there's still lots to do, but I'm sure every single association has got something amazing about themselves. And I hope that AIT is showing that we equal in that row of beautiful associations. We're still very young, I would say a baby, but hopefully we can develop and continue to blossom and bring practitioners to ourselves to attract them to us.
Definitely, you're already doing a brilliant job. This moves us, leads us to the following questions. As a support group, you are already aware that we extend our support to include emerging interpreters and translators. So what would your advice be to those who are just starting out?
It's incredible because I actually on the phone, and I don't know how I find the energy, but I'm on the phone for hours and hours to many people. We support researchers, students, academia in various field of interest, if you know what I mean, anything around interpreting and translation. But we'll also support those who are interested in entering the profession, all those who already chosen this as a profession and just need some support and encouragement and perhaps some mentoring as well. So this is what we constantly on a daily basis provide to everybody. And just yesterday it wasn't yesterday, I'm telling you a little lie, a white lie, because I forget where we are. We're Wednesday, and I'm still thinking Sunday was yesterday. But on Sunday, I was on the phone to a young lady who is very talented. She's a Portuguese interpreter. Well, she's actually not interpreter. She's a Portuguese native speaker. Her English is incredible. And she rang me through the friend or a friend. And she asked me exactly that. What would you recommend? What would you tell me? How can I, I'm really interested. And her language skills are amazing. She's clearly extremely talented and, a well-educated young lady. So I told her as it is, I've told her what the situation's in the market. But at the same time, I also said to her, I have never yet come across a single interpreter who does not love what they're doing. The thing that we all have in common, and I have to say it from my own experience, is passion for what we do. And she's clearly got that passion. So she's already up there. She's already in the profession because she's so passionate about languages and communication and helping people, because she finds it really, really rewarding. So I said to her, go ahead. I know the situation isn't great, but if you do the right thing, and all associations are working towards it, and regulatory bodies are all up in arms, we're all trying to find the right solution to the problem that we're all facing right now. But please don't give up on your dream and enter the profession, but do the right thing. So I've given her all the links to CRL and DPSA Online and International School of Linguists. Why not? They've accredited qualifications. So I've given her all the contacts, and I said, you make the right decision. You decide what is it you want to do. She said she wanted to work for police. She's just attended language show and she heard incredible presentation from Mark Lewis, and she thought, oh, I'd love to do that. This is amazing. And I said, well, if you want to work for police, then perhaps DPI is the way forward, or DPSI law. And so I've left her with all the information, and I'm hoping she will join. But she's not the only one. It's just because it was so recent, I'm still remembering the conversation, but it happens almost daily that I get communication via LinkedIn, Facebook, personal friends, to help people, to direct them, what they should do. And obviously, again, in every single situation, it has to be considered individually, because some really like working in hospitals health is what they really enjoy, and mental health in particular. Or if they like to work in police setting or court setting, there could be different ways, but we are equipped to give people that, that consultation or communication that they require to help them to take the right route straight away. I hope it answers your question.
Yes, it did. I'm sure if there are any further questions, that's what we were going to say right at the end, but we may as well just say it now, that if anybody has any questions, anything that they would like to speak to Irina about, you have her email address in the comments. Later on, after we conclude the session, I will include a link to AIT's page, so you can contact them through the page. Please feel free, or you can comment, and I'm sure Irina would pick up on the comments later on. I know we're very limited with regards to time. However, we have one question left, and that's before we wrap up. So I just want to ask you, if you had the chance to sit with Irina back in 2005, when she was just starting out, what would you tell her? What's your advice? What advice would you give her? The do's and the don'ts, please.
Well, I think I've pretty much talked about it just earlier when I was speaking to that, a younger Irina, to, when I was having this conversation with a young lady who is interested in becoming an interpreter, public service interpreter, she actually specified. And I would have loved to have the advice that she received. I would have loved to have somebody who would speak to me in a friendly way and encourage me and tell me what the right thing to do. Because when I was in 2005, actually it was earlier than that, it was in 2004, I was literally doing the research blindly. I remember that I interpreted for a young local lady. She's Lithuanian, and she didn't speak any English, and she had lots of issues, and she bumped into me in the marketplace, and she asked me to help her, and I had 2 young children, and I was running around local kind of community trying to help her with one thing and another. But I kind of really enjoyed it, so I thought, I quite like this. This is really rewarding, and it was so amazing to see how that actually managed to help her to change her life. And I thought, I really like this, the feeling of that helps somebody. I was just really, really excited about the fact that little me can help somebody and change their life for the best. So I didn't know where to start, and I live near Stansted Airport. So I rang Stansted Airport Immigration, and I said, how do I become an interpreter? They go, well, call, what did they send me? I think they called me, they sent me to the Home Office. So they gave me the contact details for the Home Office, and then rang Home Office. And then I think it used to be CIU unit. And then they said to me, you need to contact Institute of Linguists. So I then contacted Institute of Linguists. And that's when they said, you need to get a qualification. So it was a long process. Obviously a young mother with 2 children, it's taking me a while. So this lady on Sunday, she made one call and then she got all the information. So I think I would have, it would have been great if I had somebody like me in 2003 or 2, whenever I started looking, to give me all the information.
Yes, and actually, I agree.
Giving it generously, without without prejudice, without judgment, and just give the information and being supportive. And I think this is what I would have liked when I was then, because starting as an individual who doesn't know anybody or anyone, when I started, it was the time when everyone was quite isolated. I think the outsourcing brought us all together. It's kind of like,
yes, it still is. Unfortunately, it still is.
But at the time, we were all very, very isolated from one another. I never knew anyone, not even in my own language. I didn't know interpreters in my language, and I didn't know definitely anybody else. So there was no one to ask. I said, how do you do invoicing? How do you do this? How do you market yourself? What CPD to go to? Where do I get information? Nothing,
Yes,
you're just on your own, and you're trying to find it yourself. So this is why I think we as professional associations all need to be a little bit more proactive, to be out there, being available to people so they can easily reach out to us and ask all the questions they need.
Definitely. I think that's one thing we share in common now as well, is wanting to help people as much as we can and giving them advice and guiding them on how to start and where to start. That's absolutely vital. And that's another thing that I touched up as well in one of my videos, which is once you raise awareness, people will appreciate themselves. And once they appreciate themselves, they will achieve that recognition that they're fighting for. But until then,
I agree. Do you know what? I watched that video and it was absolutely amazing. I watched it this morning at 1 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep. It was awful. I really should have just, but it's just been really, really busy a few days, and I was a few months probably.
Bless you.
And I think
I can totally relate.
But I watched that video and I totally agree. And I think you hit the nail on the head. Because, you know, when we're talking about the whole law of positivity and law of attraction, you know, when you read all these books, but everybody would tell you, you know, it's like a wisdom from centuries. You need to love yourself first before you can love another human being, or, you know,
or before even asking for anybody's love, you need to appreciate yourself.
But also respect yourself. So if you respect yourself, then people will respect you. So if you behave like professional, and therefore you would not to lower your rates, you would not to lower your terms and conditions, you would not lower your professionalism. If you always keep your level where you started when you get your degree, your diploma, because when you just graduate, when you just done your exam, you're crispy, you're smart, you're clever, you know how to do everything, stay there. Stay there, fix it. Don't go lower. You know your worth, you know who you are, and keep it going. So I think we as a profession need to start loving ourselves and appreciate ourselves and respect ourselves, and then job providers will follow. And I agree with you, that video was incredible, and well done you. You really provide valuable support for practitioners.
Thank you, Irina. That's me finished with the questions. If you can just have a quick look at the comments, see if there are any questions or if there's anything that we need to respond to.
Good evening.
I'll let you do that.
See you. Hello, everybody. Crystal, hi. Hi, Joanna. And that is it. I think this is just a few messages that I've picked up, unless perhaps I need to...
I have the exact same messages, so I can't see any questions, but like we said, unfortunately we're really limited with time. You will have a recording of this session, so if you feel there are anything that we haven't discussed or you need further information, please don't hesitate to contact Irina directly. You have her contact email address in the comments section, and also you can I will put a link later on to AIT's Facebook page if you would like to keep up to date with all the events, so you can do that. Okay, thank you very much for accepting our invitation again. Lovely having you. And honestly, time just flies. You know that. I mean, I already talked to Irina, and time just flies. And we can never finish a conversation unless we have to run and do something else.
I remember when we first had a conversation, like 3 hours later. Oh my God, we only thought we'd just touch the base and say hi to
absolutely,
each other.
absolutely.
So we absolutely clicked. But Hiba, thank you so much for this incredible opportunity.
Thank you as well.
Thank you for your company. Thank you for having me here. Thank you for everybody who's been watching us and being with us for this very risky venture into live interview. But I hope others will perhaps play us a little bit later and catch up. Yes. I'm delighted to hear from you. Your comments and questions will not be ignored. So please do keep in touch, come to our events, and stay at Hiba's group because she is amazing.
Yes. Oh, see, I feel like one of them talent shows. Vote for me.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But thank you, Hiba, so much. And
thank you.
Onwards and upwards, you know.
Thank you very much.
You and your group. And lots of love to all of you. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you. Same to you. Good night.